My name is Ralf Becker. I'm the Deputy Head of Economics and responsible for teaching and learning in the Economics Department. And me and my colleague Alessia Isopi, who is the Undergraduate Director in Economics, will answer a few common questions students have in terms of assessments in economics.
So, as a student, you might wonder why are there so many different assessment structures in economics? Economics, compared to other degrees, provides students with a very wide range of skills. You can think about analytical, critical thinking, data analysis, and those skills require a different way of assessing and testing. And so this is why we provide you with different type of assessment that can range from a policy brief, essay question, solving problem, all things that you might be required to do once you enter the job market.
For some assessments, we need you to be able to do some research, do perhaps even some extra readings, and importantly, to critically think about the questions and your answers. And for that, you may need time. And time pressure is then not a tool we want to use in our assessments, and such assessments will therefore certainly be online. But there is also a role for on-campus exams, and one reason to assess on campus is to assess certain numerical, mathematical, or statistical skills, and it's important for you to demonstrate that you can apply these skills without having access to online resources. That is a very important question, but actually the answer is no. There will be plenty of situations in your work life where you will be sitting together with colleagues, perhaps your boss, in a room, and you will be thinking about certain ideas or certain proposals. And your boss, well, she may ask you, what do you think here? And you will be expected to answer immediately, and it will not be acceptable to say, give me 2 hours and I need to do some research before I can answer. So that is, therefore it is important that you have the main ideas, the main concepts ready on recall, and you need to be able to immediately use these concepts to come up with some immediate judgment. And therefore, the skill we are testing you on in on-campus exams, i.e. answering without additional research, is a very, very relevant skill. And latest, when you have your first job interview or your first job center, you will realize that this is a very important skill.
Linked to the exams online, we know that some students complain that they see other students cooperating during the online examination. And you should know that we are very much aware of this. So we know that this is that this has happened in the past. And this is why we are trying to provide you with assessment where cooperation, first of all, it's a little bit more complicated. So, for example, some of us are reducing the window on which online the exams can be done. So we, in the past we used to have 1 week or sometimes 24 hours. Now most of us are moving to 24 hours windows or even timed exams. So possibly 1 hour or just 2-hour exam, as if you were doing this on campus. On the other hand, we just want you also to deal with different type of assessment. And so we require, so for example, even when problem type of assessment are provided, we require increasingly so to offer and write down this additional explanation and interpretation of the final outcome. So rather than just providing you with results, we want to understand why do you get the results, what does that mean? And in those sort of type of assessment, cooperation becomes more complicated because each and every one of you should offer a different sort of reason and interpretation. One of the other question you might have, it's isn't cooperating with other an important employability skills? And we know that, and we say yes, this is an important skill, but we try to develop that skills in our students by increasingly providing group work. And opportunity to do group work. So some of this are usually assessed and represent part of the final grade. Some others might not be, and might be just practice or revision group that are done for the students to learn to deal with other people in the group, not just to learn the content in a better way, but also to provide to learn other type of skills. So, for example, like time management skills, organizational skills, and also deals with different personality types. So we are aware that cooperation with others is important, but not during the exams. When the assessment has to be done individually, and we try to provide you with different other opportunities to do so.
Feedback is indeed a super important element of your learning. Certainly for all assessments which happen in term, we expect you to look at your feedback and use that to learn from this to do better in next piece of assessment. But also for your final essays or final exams, while these are what we call summative assessments, so we assess basically to assess your state of learning, we also want you to take lessons away from this. And for this, it's very important that you look at the feedback that is given to you on the exam script. Sometimes that only makes sense together with some sort of group feedback provided by your lecturer. And if such feedback is provided, we expect you to look at that group feedback as well. And you can learn from this often a lot about perhaps mistakes you didn't make on this occasion, but you may be quite likely to make on the next assessment. Sometimes lecturers even make such group feedback available from the year previously. And then you can learn from mistakes others made, even before you submit your assessment. But of course, we also encourage students to use drop-in sessions and office hours with lecturers because they're a great opportunity to make sure that you understand what you can learn and improve for your next assessments.
Other than the lectures and on a specific type of coursework, a very good way to get feedback on your learning, it would be office hours. And this is something that I think students do not use in the best possible way, in the sense that many office hours for colleagues go unattended or not as well attended as they could be potentially. So if I can kind of give an advice to all the students listening to this, it would be to go to your office hours with your lecturers or TAs, because in that setting you have 15 minutes or 20 minutes. The lecturer's attention is all for you, different from the class environment, and you can ask questions on learning, extra reading, further explanation, and that will save you hours at home. So as a feedback opportunity, I think that office hour is one of the best that you can possibly use.
Thank you very much for listening to this. We hope that we could answer some of the questions you may be carrying within you regarding assessments in economics at the University of Manchester. We wish you all the best for all of your upcoming assessments.